name is Domingo Garcia, and I'm one of the attorneys for the family of Victor Fuentes. And we're here because recently we have been involved in litigation with the city of Tyler, specifically regarding the wrongful death and shooting of Victor Fuentes. Victor was shot on New Year's Eve. And what we know now, after further investigation, is that the police officer who shot Victor Fuentes, John Matthew Riggle, is the son of the Assistant Chief of Police, Paula Riggle. That John Matthew Riggle should never have ever been hired by the Tyler Police Department. That he had a prior felony conviction that would have prohibited him from joining the police department. Somehow that has been erased, and that he got hired basically because his mother got him a job. It's a direct violation of the nepotism laws of the state of Texas, and he should never have had a gun, a badge, and he should never have an AR-15 on New Year's Eve. Because of that violations, and because of that sordid new history in Smith County justice, we are now seeing a family who has lost their son. These are the parents, and Janet, who has lost her husband, and 3 small children who have lost their father. We believe now that despite all the efforts by the city of Tyler to avoid a trial, a federal judge has now said this case will go to trial. And when this case goes to trial, we believe the evidence will show that on New Year's Eve, John Matthew Riggle, a police officer who should never have been there, was called to a New Year's Eve celebration, and that Victor Fuentes was inside his house, unarmed, when the officer entered without a warrant with an AR-15. And he was entering a Tyler neighborhood, not Iraq, Tyler neighborhood, on a family, and he opens multiple times and hits Victor Fuentes, according to the autopsy, in the back of the neck, and then hits him twice more on the front, and that results in his death. The shooting is witnessed by his father. I believe the evidence will show he was unarmed, and that a gun was planted on him after the shooting to justify it. Again, another sordid history in the Smith County justice. And we believe that this evidence and this testimony will get to a jury, and that Smith County jurors will hold Officer Riggle accountable, as well as the city of Tyler and its police department accountable for what happened. And the fact of the matter is, we need better training for our officers. They need better diversity on the police department, and they need officers that are held accountable when they commit misconduct.
I believe that Matthew Riggle had no probable cause to enter the residence. He had not seen Victor Fuentes even fire a weapon or commit any sort of offense at all. He had not done anything to indicate to anyone that he was a danger to anyone inside the residence. Officer Riggle, his explanation is that he wanted to maintain line of sight with Victor after he had claims he saw him in the backyard with a gun. There's no better way than I can say that he just made that up, because that's not part of their training. That is not part of the city of Tyler's training manual. It's not in their policies and procedures to maintain line of sight. Officer Riggle admitted in his deposition that he didn't have the right to arrest or detain Victor Fuentes at the time he entered the residence. So we believe that there was absolutely no probable cause for him to go in the house in the first place.
For those of you, Victor Fuentes was a U.S. citizen. He had 2 jobs. He had never been arrested or convicted of any crime before this night. And he was married and had 3 children. And so, to give the family's version, Janet Fuentes, if you'll just go ahead.
My name is Janet Fuentes, and I have 3 kids, Victor, Hector, and Kimberly. And I want everybody to know that my husband wasn't a bad person. He worked 2 jobs to provide for us. He didn't have a criminal justice. He didn't deserve to die the way that he did. We weren't expecting to, have a New Year's without him, where we were burying him at the cemetery. I want justice for what happened, and for Officer Matt Riggle to be held responsible for it.